Hello, I'm very happy to be with Ravi Gilani, the world expert and inventor or creator of managing companies' cash constraints, right? So I'd like him to describe, how does one manage that situation? What are the solutions?
Let me make one thing very clear. No company is closed down because they're not making money or making profits. Companies close down when they run out of cash. To me, this is extremely important over everything else. So the biggest problem when companies are struggling with cash, they don't admit they have a problem. While the whole world knows it, yet they don't admit it. The very first thing what we have to do, very first thing with the top management, ask them to prepare a 13-week cash flow. I don't care what sales is there, I don't care what is your profits, whatever it is, show me how will you survive the next 13 weeks. And this becomes a game changer because they had some belief that so far they have survived, so they'll survive somehow in the future. Step one is to accept the problem that we have a cash constraint. Having accepted a cash constraint, we have to do some very unconventional things. We created a concept called cash velocity. Cash velocity is, let us say you're putting $100, you're borrowing money. How soon that $100 will become, let us say, $200. Let's say it becomes after 1 month, then the cash velocity is 100% per month. There is one specific thing about cash. When cash is a constraint, when you exploit cash, it not only increases the cash, it not only increases the throughput, it also elevates also. The net effect of it's a compounding impact. For example, if some company is struggling with cash and they get an infusion of $100, and let's say the cash to cash cycle is 1 month. So after 1 month, they get $200. Reinvested. In the second month, 200 can become 400. In the third month, 400 can become 800. And this is my experience, almost every company, no matter whichever in the world, within 3 months, 13 weeks, any company's cash constraint will either get shifted to operations or to orders. Cash constraint can be eliminated within 3 months. The prime criteria deciding to sell at a higher price, lower price, buying at a higher price, lower price, anything, what is the cash velocity? Cash velocity is money in versus money out to money in about a month's time. And against various alternatives, you start multiplying or working out what is the cash velocity. You go with the highest cash velocity to start.
Can you give us some examples of kind of solutions?
Sure. Indo-Asian fuse gears, a very specific, very first time example. Selling price was 100, variable cost was 40, cash to cash cycle time was 63 days, 3 days to make, 60 days to collect. So cash to cash velocity from, you put $40, you get $100 in about, I would say, 63 days, 9 weeks. I looked at it, is there a way we can get the money fast? I was told, no, there's no way we can get money fast. The dealers don't have money. I said, what if we give 50% discount? As it is, we are about to be closed. You want to get this closed earlier? I said, let's do a paper calculation. We realized that if we sell instead of 100 at 50, 40 we will put, but you get 50 almost after a week. 3 days to manufacture, 3 days to still collect the money. Now, please look at it. 100 is 40 is becoming 50, 1.25 times. So in 9 weeks, 1.25 into 9, this almost becomes 8. So using the same thing, what I was getting from 40, I would get 100 or 2.5. Now for the same $1, I will get 8. This is what we tried for the very first time. People were, let me put it honestly, the owner, he asked me, are we such stupid people that we did not know this before? I said, why do you want to ask me? He said, no, you tell me. And blunt as I said, yes. He has yet not forgiven me for that.
And that's one of your first stories, but you've gone on a whole career going up to billion-dollar companies that are doing that. It's
okay.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Yes. Now, another company, the last one, Jindal Steel and Power, when we looked at they are struggling for cash, and typical method of improving cash, assumption is, if we improve sales, if we improve profits, we'll increase cash. Totally, utterly wrong. The reason is cash has two components, profit and change in working capital. Often when you increase sales, your working capital also goes up, often much more than the profits. So I said, okay, we'll keep the sales and profit at the same level, but we'll reduce our receivables and inventories dramatically. All I can tell you is that in about 2 years' time, almost with the same sale, almost the same, we didn't change the sale much, but we could reduce our gross working capital inventories and receivables by 56% in 2 years' time. And this money helped us in two ways. One, to cover the losses, another, to complete the existing expansion which was already underway. And because of all these things, in about 6-7 years, we have been able to return $6-7 billion of bank loans, cleaned up almost all the bank loans.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And I don't know, listening to the story once again, it's just very strange because Ravi turns a problem into a beautiful solution, right? The companies that come to him, or the companies he's had to work with, were politely cash constrained, so they were going bankrupt. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? It's another way of saying it, right? He said companies die from no money in the bank. That's what kills them. And he turns it around, not just to survive, but for it to become an exponential boom. It's really, really incredible. So thank you very much for what you've done and for these examples. Don't despair if you've got a cash constraint. If you manage it, you've just heard what you can do about it. You can get lots of cash. You just have to put that cash constraint in focus and work out how you can alleviate it. And this is a world expert on the subject, and he's been doing it all over the world, and with a 100% success rate. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.